Let's continue our discussion about the foreign exchange market, and today we are going to discuss about the T account. So let's take a T account. Here we have debit, here we have credit. Debit is going to be related with US payments, and the credit is going to be related with US receipts. So when United States makes payments, it's going to make payments for the things we import. And when United States has receipts, is going to be related to US exports. Now let's see how we relate imports and exports to supply and demand for dollars. Well, when we import, what's going to happen? We have to pay for the goods we import. So what we have to do, we have to supply our dollars in exchange for foreign currency. We supply our dollars, we receive the foreign currency in exchange to be able to pay for the goods that we import. So this is why import is going to be related with the supply for dollars on this side. So supply for dollars is on the this side. And when we discuss for the relationship between exports and US receipts, here we are going to have the demand for US dollars. That's the demand for US dollars. Why? Because to pay for the US goods, now the foreign country demands, so we have demand for dollar, demand more of US dollars to be able to pay for US goods. So you see where supply and demand for dollars appear here. So also on these two sides, we are going to have, on this side, we are going to have capital outflow. And the symbol is KO. And what does it mean? Money is going to flow outside United States. Capital outflow is the return on investment in United States is lower than return on investment on foreign country. That's the case when we have capital outflow. And over here we are going to have capital inflow. KI, when return on investment in United States is higher than return on investment in foreign country. So what happens here? If we can provide more return on investments in United States, then we have investors from all over the world coming into United States to invest. This is why I call this one capital inflow here. So now that we have an idea about this chart, this is going to hopefully be helpful when working on the other applications and provide you a guide to follow. So now here, where is my demand for dollar? I'm going to ask you to look on this side of the T account. So quantity demanded for dollars is going to be a function of export, this is what we have here, export, and capital inflow. And export, if you look on the previous page or previous video, we had export was a function of Y star with a positive sign and exchange rate with a negative sign. That was equation number 2 back then. So I'm going to write down quantity demanded for dollars is going to be a function of what X was in equation number 2, Y star, positive, exchange rate, negative, and then we have a function of capital inflow 2. And that's going to be your equation number 5, I believe. And finally, quantity supplied for dollars is going to be a function of, now we look over here, supply of dollars. What do we have on this side? We have imports and capital outflow. And imports, based on equation number 3 from previous video, import was a function of y in United States with a positive sign. Then we have exchange rate with a positive sign, and you can also see on this chart that is also a function of capital outflow. And that's equation number 6. Now let's see how we can use all this information into applications. So I'm going to write this chart again because we need to look at the chart, but I'm going to make it smaller to have room for other information. So here we had supply of dollars on the debit side. Here was demand of dollars over here. And here we had on supply of dollars imports and capital outflow. And on demand for dollars we had exports and capital inflow. So my market for foreign exchange looks like this. Market for foreign exchange. Here we have quantity of dollars. Here we have the price of dollars, which is exchange rates. So that's the market for US dollars. And this is going to be the demand for dollars, and this is the supply for dollars, and this is the equilibrium. That's the equilibrium exchange rate, and that's the equilibrium quantity of dollars at equilibrium. Now, for some applications with shifts in supply and or demand for dollars, they can sound like this. For example, case 1. Let's see what we can have. Suppose we have an increase in income in, let's say, in Japan. People in Japan make more money. When people make more money, they are going to do what? They are going to import, increase in import, their import, which is increase in US export. Increase in US export. So we have to figure out, the question is, how is this going to affect, what's going to happen with the exchange rate in the market for US dollars here, this one. Let's keep the market for US dollars to have as a benchmark. So if we have an increase in imports or increase in US exports, where do we have US exports on our chart? Exports is over here. So that means that we have an increase in demand for dollars. So now we have to show that on a graph here. Increase in demand for dollars. Quantity, exchange rate, D1, D2, S. SD1, that was E1, R1, and that's E2, and that's R2. So right away you can see that we have a currency appreciation here, R increases. Okay. Now let's do another example in this space here. 2. Suppose we have an increase in income in United States in this case. If we have more money here, if we make more money, then we have increase in our exports, increase in US, our imports. We import more. We buy more things in general, including the imported goods. So if we have an increase in import, how is this going to affect the exchange rates? Now, where is the import on my chart? Well, look over here. Supply of dollar is related with import here. So that means we are going to have an increase in supply for dollars. So let's show that on a chart here. Quantity of dollars, exchange rate. This time we have an increase in supply for dollars. So we have S1, S2, demand. So S1 demand 1, that's my E1, R1. S2 demand, E2, R2. So right away you can see that exchange rates depreciates in this case. So for the applications asking you for different cases to show how different changes in the economies affect the exchange rate, you can use this chart and this type of graphs to show the changes.